Another point you mentioned about close to the beginning of the interview that I found really interesting. You were talking about how you're a big advocate for women's reproductive rights, which I'm assuming you mean as pro-choice.
Yes, that is the stance.
But then growing up, I went to Catholic high school as well.
Yeah.
Pro-life.
Right.
So how do you sort of balance that cognitive dissonance where you grew up, pro-life, but you actually believe that for women, they should have the right to choose?
Right. Well, for me, honestly, when I went to university and I was no longer under the bubble of Catholicism and I was able to critically analyze the things in the world and my own beliefs and my opinions. Not to say that I'm like a faithless person that, but like I still do have certain religious beliefs, but for me, my stance is that I believe that a woman has a right to do with her body what she chooses. And the second I made that revelation to myself, that cognitive dissonance more or less disappeared. I no longer, I don't have any conflictions about it. I mean, and I still live in a very Catholic home. Like my mom is very Catholic, but I have my beliefs and I stand very staunchly by them. And, a lot of, the area of medicine that I want to practice in ultimately is women's health. So I believe that going into that area, not that every single person that practices women's health needs to be pro-choice. You don't have to. But if you were going to be a physician, in my opinion, that specializes in women's health, I feel like it's important to be able to respect the autonomy of the woman's body. Mm-hmm. So that is the stance that I stand behind.
You ever have this conversation with your mom about, do you ever have this conversation with your parents?
No, not really. I mean, no. But I feel like my mom knows what it is. Like those are my.
She knows what's up.
She knows what. Yeah, she knows that those are my stances and my beliefs, and I don't even necessarily think that she's not that she's not pro-life. I just think that ultimately my mom also stands by a woman's right to do what is necessary for her in her life, right? And I feel like there's so much conflation that happens when it talks about women's reproductive rights. Like people think that, you must be supporting, third trimester termination for no reason. It's like, no, there are so many medically indicated reasons why people cannot carry through a pregnancy. Not that I think that that's the only, justifiable reason to have a therapeutic abortion or anything like that. But
okay, so where we left off, you were talking about some people think, they conflate, pro-choice with third trimester abortion, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's there's very medically clear indicators of when abortion is the right thing to do.
Right. Or when it's, I feel like when you get into the idea of what's right and what's wrong and what's moral and what is immoral, I feel like there, especially in medicine, there are certain things that are medically indicated for the mother's safety. And, if the child is not viable outside of the womb and if they are going to have a short and very, suffering-filled experience for the time that they're here, there are certain times in which abortion is very much medically indicated. But even outside of that, I still believe in a woman's choice to make decisions for her own body, for what is right for her at that time in her life. And I also still believe that, whether or not abortion is legal, it's still going to happen. Mm-hmm. Women have always had abortions. They will always continue to have abortions. It's just up to us as a society to determine, is it going to be legal and safe or is it going to be illegal and unsafe? So that's kind of my stance. That is my stance on women's reproductive rights. And, I stand firmly behind it. I will always be a big believer in a woman's right to choose.
Awesome. I like that. So now we come to the third part of the interview, the final third.
Okay.
The last trimester, if you will.